Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome back to the channel. And so here we are, 24 hours to go from filming this video. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 will hit the download stores and it will be available for everybody to purchase. But with that in mind, there are still dozens of lingering questions, lots that people have been asking me. So in this video today, I'm going to try and attempt to answer those FAQs that have been burning a hole in my inbox and see where we are going to be in 24 hours time. We're going to address add-on compatibility, one of the biggest things that I've been asked, things like VATSIM, other issues such as installation size, hardware compatibility, do you need to upgrade your PC for the new flight simulator, and what about all the different versions that are available. So let's tackle these one by one. First of all, which edition will I be purchasing? So this is a question I've been asked quite a lot. Obviously there are 4 editions. There's the Standard, the Deluxe, the Premium Deluxe and the Aviator edition. What is the biggest difference between all of these? Well, it's simply the amount of different aircraft we will get and handcrafted airports. Now for me personally, the only aircraft I normally fly are the Airbus aircraft and a nice little Cessna 152, something like that. The basic version of the simulator has all of these. It has the A320 from Innobuild, also has the Beluga, which is brand new. It will also have the Airbus A321 XLR, and it'll have the Cessnas and basic GA aircraft as well. In terms of the airports then, this is where it becomes a little bit more tricky because Azobo and Microsoft have not released which airports will be available for which version. That will not be known until release day tomorrow. Now, back when Flight Sim 2020 was released, I went for the top version, basically because of the different airports. For instance, London Heathrow was included. But back then, we didn't really understand just how important things like FlightSim.to, the community mods, were going to be, and just how good they would become. Had I known then what I know now, I probably would not have jumped for the top tier just because I was going to get extra handcrafted airports, because the community and also commercial add-on developers brought out airports by the dozen that were far better than the Azobo handcrafted defaults. So this potentially isn't going to sway me with regards to which version I personally would like to get. Love to hear your thoughts on any of the topics we're going to cover in this video, so please don't forget to write your thoughts down below and leave a comment. At this stage, for me personally, on the face of it, I can't see any great pull in purchasing anything other than the basic version. All the scenery is going to be exactly the same around the world. The airports will of course be different in terms of which ones will be handcrafted, etc. But I'm sure that the modders and the Flight Sim community and developers will fill in those gaps just as they did for Flight Sim 2020. If there is something specific in any of the advanced versions that you have seen, I'd love to know what it is that is pulling you towards those. Now, the installation of the sim tomorrow is quite interesting in terms of its size. We already know that a lot of the sim is going to be based in the cloud and it will just download the bits that it needs at the particular time. So a decent internet speed is going to be a must. For me, I am a little bit concerned because where I live the internet speeds aren't that great. I'm somewhere between 30 and 50 gigabytes per second, which obviously can vary from the time of day and things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that actually works, but the overall size of the sim is rumored to only be around 50 gigabytes. Now, if you will have an issue with your internet, there will be an option with local storage, so you will be able to download certain things, store it locally on your PC to improve your performance, and we'll see how that will work, I'm sure, once the sim gets released. A quick little tip for you: if you already know which version of the sim you want, you can obviously already pre-order it, and you can also pre-download part of it as well. This will of course let you jump the queue when the masses start pulling all their download data from the Microsoft servers. Hopefully they will be able to handle it, but if you want to get part of the sim already pre-installed and ready on your PC, that is available for you to do now via the Xbox app. Alright, so let's now talk about add-ons, and I'm going to focus for this part of the video on the Fenix add-on and the fly-by-wire add-on, basically because for those of you who watch this channel, you'll know that they are the two add-ons that I fly the most. Alright, so the Fenix team have already said that they are unsure how this aircraft is going to work in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It will not offer native support from day one, and that is because the Fenix team were not granted access to Flight Simulator 2024 because, well, essentially they don't sell the Fenix aircraft through the marketplace. Developers who sell their wares through the in-game marketplace have had access to the software development kit. Fenix do not, and neither do the fly-by-wire team, even though of course they don't technically sell anything. Their aircraft are not available via the marketplace, so without access they cannot say for certain whether their products are going to work. Now, fly-by-wire did come out and say the A380 at launch would not work properly in Flight Sim 2024. You may be able to load the A380 into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but it wouldn't operate correctly. Of course, we'll find more details about that tomorrow when we actually try it. Therefore, then, I will state now that I will not be deleting Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 from my PC simply because I love flying the fly-by-wire aircraft, the A380 that's just come out, the Fenix aircraft family, of course, which has just released their Sharklet editions. Those are my bread and butter aircraft which I like to fly and stream here on the channel, and if I cannot do that properly in Flight Sim 2024, well, as good as 2024 looks, 2020 will still be my go-to flight sim until I can get those proper aircraft into Flight Sim 2024 working correctly. No idea on the time frame for that. Developers, of course, will not give us an estimated time frame for that because that wouldn't be fair, and like us at the moment, they just simply don't know. I hope it's quick, and I'm sure you guys do as well. Again, let me know your thoughts on this. Now, let's just take a quick moment to look at companies such as Inibuilds and PMDG. PMDG have already come out and stated that at the moment they see no issues in their 73s and their 777s that they have in Flight Sim 2020 working in Flight Sim 2024. These have been tested and all tests appear to be working well. Now, this is of no surprise because, of course, PMDG sell their products via the install marketplace. They've had access to the new software development kit, so they've been able to ensure that things are working correctly. So if you are a Boeing flyer, well, bully for you, things are looking good. If you're an Airbus flyer, maybe not. Although there is a glimmer of light because Inibuilds have access to the software development kit, particularly as they are the company that are going to be behind the Beluga, for example, also their A320neo, which is a default aircraft in the new simulator. So there will be some Airbus aircraft that hopefully should be of decent quality when Flight Sim 2024 releases. Of course, we know they're not going to be up to the same quality as the Fenix, but it's going to have to do for now. And Inibuilds have also said that their payware aircraft, the very popular Airbus A300, will work in both Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024 with full compatibility. So then, what about your scenery files? All those dozens of airports that you've purchased, downloaded, and currently have sat in your community folder in Flight Sim 2020, will they work in Flight Simulator 2024? Well, there is going to be one way to find out, and actually this is what I do plan on doing. Tomorrow when the sim gets released, I will simply copy some of my airport scenery files from my community folder into the community folder for Flight Sim 2024 and see what happens. Now, what do I expect to happen? Again, this comes back to which developer we're talking about. Let's start with Inibuilds because obviously they are a big player in this market. They will have 3 different versions of sceneries available. Basically, they're categorizing them as compatible, enhanced, and premium. Compatible is, as it sounds like, if it works in 2020, it's going to work in 2024, and it will be a straight port over. There will then be the enhanced version, which means there's going to be a small upgrade cost because not only will it be from 2020 originally, but they're also going to remodel a few things and take advantage of the new features 2024 has to offer. After this then, the final model will be their premium edition. This will be brand new products, not available for Flight Simulator 2020 and just basically 2024 only. Now, in some instances, they will have two versions of the same title available. A good example of this will be their A300 airliner. The A300 that they have currently for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 will work and be fully compatible in Flight Simulator 2024, but they are also releasing a premium version which is only for Flight Simulator 2024, and this will take advantage of new features that are available, things like pitot covers and being able to use this aircraft in career mode, for example, as well as a brand new flight model taking again advantage of the upgraded flight model characteristics that we can expect to see in Flight Sim 2024. And if you do want more details from Inabuilds with regards to their roadmap for Flight Sim 2024, there's a link in the video description down below where you can read all about that. Orbex then, another major flight simulator content scenery developer, have said that they are committed to ensuring that all of their products in Flight Simulator 2020 will be fully compatible with Flight Simulator 2024, and that they expect a smooth transition for most of their products. They obviously will need to go through them all to ensure that everything will be fine, and they are going to prioritize their most recent releases working backwards. But fingers crossed, they are expecting it all to work rather seamlessly. They do state though that if they do need to make major changes to ensure compatibility, then those too will have a small upgrade fee. One of my favourite scenery developers for Microsoft Flight Simulator is Pyrrhy, famous of course for their Edinburgh, Belfast, East Midlands, Glasgow airports. They are fantastic, and they said a while ago on Twitter, or X as it now is, that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 compatibility updates for their sceneries will be free of charge. For all other developers, I think it's going to be a little bit of a waiting game. The general rule seems to be that if it is scenery from a developer that is available in the in-game marketplace, they will have had access to the software development kit ahead of time, so will have been able to make tweaks accordingly. If, however, they are an external third party who don't sell things via the marketplace, then we may have to wait a little bit longer for compatibility. But I do think it's actually going to be quite interesting to see all of the sceneries that I've got in my community folder for Flight Sim 2020. If I can throw those into 2024, it might blow up, but we'll wait and see, and that'll be quite exciting to find out together which ones will and which ones won't work. Of course, we will all be keeping an eye on places like flightsim.to, as I'm sure the community will come out just as it did for Flight Sim 2020 when it was released, and create some absolutely stunning freeware sceneries as well. Thoughts on this from you, please, down in the comments below. So then, what about our AI live traffic injection? So for this, I use FSLTL models. Now, model compatibility, let's talk about that first of all. At the moment, we do not know if Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to ship with any liveries, or whether, like Flight Sim 2020, it's just going to have generic made-up airlines. In the trailers, we did see Continental and Iberia, but that might just be for show. So I have got both FSLTL models and I've also got FS traffic models. Will these work in the sim? In theory, yes, they should inject into the sim and the models should be okay, but what they will look like and how they will behave is a different matter. FSLTL have said that they can't support Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 at the moment because they, like Fenix and Fly-by-Wire, don't really have access to it, because of course they don't sell their product via the marketplace. Some early testing has shown that FSLTL traffic injector is a complete mess in Flight Simulator 2024. It just doesn't work properly with the new AI systems 2024 has to offer. Therefore, the recommendation at this point really is use their models for the default AI traffic injector, that is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024's own AI traffic injector, to use the FSLTL base models to try and depict the live traffic that should be shown. But this still may be buggy. As it stands, FSLTL will of course support Flight Sim 2024, but not until they get their hands on it, so there will be no support at launch. Let's move on to air traffic control then. Beyond ATC and SayIntentions, the two big front winners in this department. After of course VATSIM, which I will come to later. The great news is that both Beyond ATC and SayIntention seem to be working seamlessly with Flight Simulator 2024 in their testing. Now, the only thing that doesn't appear to be working correctly at the moment and at the time of release will be their traffic injection. Again, this is because the way that the traffic is injected into Flight Simulator 2024 is different to Flight Simulator 2020. The same reason that FSLTL traffic injection won't work correctly at the time of launch either. The air traffic control side of things works perfectly well. The traffic injection, that will take some time to come. This then brings me on to VATSIM. Now at the moment, VATSIM from day one we assume will not work with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. The reason being, a update will be needed for vPilot so that it can work with the new simulator. Now I think I do recall reading a while back that VATSIM and Azoba were talking to each other regarding this, so it may be that that wait will not be very long. In fact, it may even be just a couple of days, but even so, expect that on day one you're not going to be able to jump in and do your favorite flight on VATSIM straight away. The same then applies to those of you who use external hardware from Wingflex, from WinWing, etc. They too are going to need to take time to update their software so that it is recognized in the new simulator, so we are going to have to be patient for those of you who use hardware. So what about other immersion add-ons, things like Rex or GSX? Well, straight away, I'm unsure as to whether GSX is actually going to be needed. We've seen the videos of passengers boarding and things like that, and that is native to Flight Simulator 2024. How the pushbacks are going to be handled, again, we're going to have to wait and see, but we can assume that GSX will certainly not be available at the time of launch. This will take some time to come, and time will tell as to whether this is actually going to be needed. Looking back at Rex then, things like Rex AccuSeasons probably won't be needed. Seasons are included by default in Flight Sim 2024. However, Rex Atmos, their most recent release, which we've done a video about here on the channel before, and I now use exclusively for all of my flights because I think it makes Flight Sim 2020 look amazing, is also portable and will work instantly with Flight Simulator 2024. Whether it will actually be needed, again, remains to be seen, something for a future video perhaps. Finally, will I be updating my PC hardware for this new sim? Certainly not. Certainly not straight away, that is, anyway. Rumour is that the performance of Flight Simulator 2024 is meant to be far better than that of Flight Simulator 2020. New technology, better optimization of your CPUs means that in theory you should enjoy better performance on your PC than you currently do in Flight Sim 2020. Again, this will of course remain to be seen, but we will not be upgrading anything ready for the new Flight Simulator. However, should it need it in the future, then it's something I will probably need to look into. So, my final thoughts then, and this is what I shall be doing tomorrow. Over the last couple of days, I have been emptying my community folder for Flight Sim 2020 onto an external drive, just to free up a lot of space on my hard drive on the PC. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 isn't going to be that big, so I plan on having both Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 installed. Which version of Flight Sim 2024 I will be getting? Honestly, I still haven't even decided yet, and there's less than 24 hours to go. Would love to hear what your thoughts are regarding the different versions and which ones you will be getting. Once installed, the first thing I'll be doing, probably like most of you, jumping into my local airfield in a Cessna 152, which is what I fly in real life, and I would like to see how it handles, how realistic it is, taking off from the local airfield, flying over my house, That's what everyone did in 2020, isn't it? I see no reason to do any different in 2024 and see what that looks like. After that, I will then start porting in some of the files from my community folder, see what scenery works, see what scenery doesn't, see how the compatibility all is, and go from there. Of course, all of this we will have lots of content and videos about, and we'll also be live streaming quite a bit of this week, so I do hope you will join me as we look forward and explore what is rather an exciting development in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let me know what your plans are this week, how you're going to handle the new simulator, if, of course, you're actually going to purchase it at all. Again, let me know in the comments down below. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and of course, if you have, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any of our future videos and live streams. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again in the next one. Bye bye for now.